Tas ir AquaBalance tehnoloģijas dekoratīvais apmetums. Vizuāli jūs varat noteikt uzreiz, ka tas ir AquaBalance. Kam ir pieredze darbam ar dekoru? Nu, jā, Jāna. Tur ir rakstīts. Ok. Tad, principā, jā, mēs katrs varam pamēģināt, kā ar viņu strādāt, kāda viņam graudējība, kā viņu pareizi, tā teikt, rīvēt.
So basically, the first step with all the polymeric decorative renders, when I say polymeric, then I mean the renders that are in pocket, because all those silicone and siloxane and all the others, they are still polymer based, partially. All those renders you first apply with this metal trowel. This is the step that Michal is doing right now. So first step is to just apply the material on the wall, on the substrate. He already tries to get it quite thin, but at first, if you have, right now he is using the decorative render that has grain size or the particular size up to 2 millimeters.
Yes, it's true.
Then this first step is always a little bit thicker. It's always going to be around 3 millimeters or something like that. So if he has applied enough, I don't know how much he's right now applying, but if he's done with this square meter or square meters, then the next step is that he has to clean the trowel and then tries to get off as much as this excess material as possible. So in Germany they mark those products with K, which means Kratz, and this Kratz is basically has come from this sound that you hear right now. It's like kratzing, or in English, scratching this material off.
What about excess render? Are we going to put it inside?
No.
Comments about this?
Yeah. Right now the situation is that the grain is going to stay on the wall, and you will get out only like this filler and polymers and all this like the milky part between the grains, and you should never put that back into the bucket, which is very common mistake that they do on the job site. If you do that, then the beginning of the bucket and the end of the bucket will have very different viscosity.
So we just clean it outside towel and inside the bucket.
Right now you can put it on the lid maybe.
On the lid, it will be more cleaner.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And usually, in my experience, it doesn't matter how much you scratch it off right now. When you start floating with the plastic floater, the next step, then you always still have a lot of this too much milk, this milky mass between.
Vēl viena lieta, ko gribēs pateikt, šis konkrētais spainis jau ir satonēts tādā bešīgā tonī. Jā, mēs veicam dekoratīvā apmetumā tonešanu tepat Rīgā. Mūsu noliktavā mums ir gana plašā savā tonešanas karta, bet pārsvarā mēs varam sagatavot praktiski jebkuru recepti pēc RLNCS citu ražotāju katalogiem. Jā, ja mums tas nav datubāze, tad tas aizņems kādu brīdi, lai to recepti sagatavotu. Tā kā šeit jau satonēts materiāls, ja tāds bešīga krasa viņš nav, pats pa sevi, kad viņš nav satonēts, viņš ir balts, un ja vajag vienkārši baltu, tad to uzreiz var izmantot kā baltu. Dažiem ražotājiem ir apmetumi, kur vajag baltu, bet tāpat vajag tonēt baltajā tonī. About waiting time before you start to float.
Actually, it's only like a couple of minutes is fine when you can start floating. So basically right now I think it's okay when you start floating. The problem is, right now we are doing like this half square meter, it's really easy. But if you're doing a big job site and you have different floors and the scaffoldings, then it's really, really important that if you have like this edge from the fourth floor, and now you're starting to apply on the next floor. Actually, usually they do it from up to down, okay? But this line has to be always carried on so-called wet on wet. If this one dries out, which can happen in summertime in like 10 to 15 minutes already with silicone render, then you will have a visible line there. And that's actually an application error, once again, which we don't allow. Yeah.
Yes.
If there's a bigger wall, then you can't apply it with one or two guys. that's the easiest answer.
Lielāks cilvēku skaits vai nu pārtraukšana ar lentām. Jā, tad tu...
Usually they're like going like this on the wall. So they start from the upper level, then the next level is coming like behind them, then the third floor behind them, and those guys can at one point move one floor lower from this, and so on and so on and so on. Like they're coming from the, let's say it's a 5-story building, they're starting from the 5th floor and then they end up in the sokol. Usually it's so that one guy is going in front who is applicating the material, who's doing this work step, and then one guy is coming with a floater behind him. Yeah. So on one floor there should be 2 guys at least.
Tātad lielāks darbinieku skaits un dalīšanās sektoros var palīdzēt sasniegt labāku vizuālu rezultātu bez tiem pārtraukumiem.
So right now Mihails also is having this excessive material which he also is putting away somewhere else, not back to the bucket.
Question about primering. Lava, ka ir speciāla grunta, kura domāta tieši šim pasākumam, darbam ar dekoratīviem apmetumiem. Mūsu gadījumā tas ir Weber Prim 403 gruntis, kurai sastāvā ir tas kvarca piedeva, kas dod tādu nedaudz rupjāku virsmu, labākais atķerēja ar dekoratīvu apmetumu, kā arī pats grunts tonējas dekoratīva apmetuma toni, lai sasniegtu to labāko rezultātu. How long you should wait for drying of...
Usually we say that apply the primer one day and start rendering next day, but actually it's dry in summertime, like in 2 hours or...
Quite fast, yeah.
So if you primer in the morning and you apply the render in the evening, that's fine. And about the floating, I wanted to say that usually this handwriting or the application signature should be quite similar. So if you have like 2 guys floating the facade and one guy is doing like this and the other guy is doing like this, that might be visual later. With this render, it shouldn't be, but if you have this so-called rillenstruktur, you know, with the big holes, you probably have some name in Latvian. We have a few names in Estonia. Yeah. With that render, it's extremely important that this signature has to be the same all over the facade. Otherwise, it's spread out.
Paredzam, ka darbinieki ar vienu, tā teikt, rokrakstu veiks dekoratīvā apmetuma iestrādi. Ja tagad, teiksim, Nauris turpinātu mani iesaktu un mēģinātu norīvēt, mēs varam starp citu Nauri paskatīties, kā tas, pamēģināsim. Vai sanāks panākt līdzīgu rakstu viena un otrā pusē. How to understand that it's enough to grid this render and not to do it more a lot?
You mean the floating part?
Yes.
I would say when it's even. Mm-hmm. If the surface is still uneven, then I would continue. But what more you float the surface, the more you will remove this filler. And you will have more like only grains on the facade. And when you do it like just a little, then you will have a lot of this filler. Actually, in Germany they teach both techniques. It's like old traditional ways. In our region, usually they don't talk about it. Everybody does it like they're used to do it. So basically, I would say that if the surface is even, I wouldn't say that it's very even right now.
Yeah, it's not really even.
So I would like try to smoothen it up a little bit more if it would be my house.
Visual control during this.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
On the scaffoldings, you can't go more like than 1.5 meters, maybe. That's maximum.
Not so far. So, for example, for this, we need to grid more to get more even result.
What is the real difference between the structure if you, for example, use
the outputs and the inputs? The difference is that in this one you have mostly you have this 2 millimeter grain size, and you have no other grain inside, and just a little bit of this filler. I'm not sure, but I would just say it's about like 70-30 or something like the ratio. If you have this rillenstruktur, then in that case you have mostly only this filler, and you have some of those big grains inside. So that's the reason. Only like few big grains will draw this line on the facade. It's a natural stone, and it has to be like quite round, because the structure is made so that this grain starts rolling between the substrate and the floater. Yeah, that's the idea. So if you have 2 millimeter grain size render, then the layer thickness in maximum is always 2 millimeter. It's never less or never more.
What is the more popular grain size in Estonia?
Today it's 1.5, because 1.5 and 2 are quite similar, both quite easy to apply. 2 is more bulletproof, to be honest. But 1.5 has about 20% less consumption, and they're gonna win in price due to that.